Good afternoon, everyone. We're going to start off a little bit slowly and let people trickle in. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us today to learn more about NSF's education and training application, known as ETAP. My name is Christina Tuttle. I'm the project director for ETAP at Mathematica. We're the contractor who developed and managed the system for NSF. And I'm joined today by Liz Weber from NSF, who's sitting with me up here. Broadening participation in STEM is a key part of NSF's mission, including programs and centers it funds like CREST. And ETAP is designed to help do just that. ETAP is a free common application system that helps applicants find and apply for NSF research opportunities with ease. Several NSF programs, including Research Experiences for Undergraduates, the RU program, have been using ETAP to recruit participants. And we're excited to offer CREST and other programs awards the option to pilot using ETAP for your own opportunities. At this time, usage of ETAP is voluntary. As you listen to this presentation, I invite you to think about how this system might help you, what we can do to improve it so it better meets your needs. So today we'll begin our time together with about 15 to 20 minute overview of ETAP. And then we'll leave plenty of time at the end of the presentation for discussion and any questions that you have for myself or for Liz. And I should point out on the table, you've got a two-sided, just sort of glossy overview of the system. One side is sort of targeted on what ETAP benefits it brings for principal investigators, and the other side, what benefits it brings for applicants. So what is ETAP? ETAP is a secure online platform that's been custom built for NSF to support the education and training opportunities that it funds. It began with a pilot a few years ago to connect applicants at the time, undergraduate and graduate students, with opportunities made possible through NSF-funded awards from a variety of programs. By opportunities, we mean scholarships, fellowships, and research experiences. And as the system has continued to grow, to support more programs, it serves other types of applicants as well, including people at different stages of their education, as well as professionals like teachers. ETAP does this by providing principal investigators of NSF Awards access to a common application system that can be customized to fit the needs of their individual opportunities. So in this way, the system is designed to provide a service to the research community and one that intentionally promotes equity in participation in NSF programs. As an NSF-funded PI, ETAP allows the PI or designated members of their project team to quickly set up an opportunity so they can get started recruiting for that opportunity quickly and not lose time or money setting up an application infrastructure from scratch. In addition, PIs get access to useful data about their project's applicants and participants and how they can compare, or how they do compare, to similar awards that also use ETAP. One of the reasons ETAP was set up was to address legislation that created new reporting and evidence requirements for NSF. From NSF's perspective, ETAP enables the collection of high-quality data from applicants and eventual participants in NSF programs at a time when they are applying for funding, and therefore have an incentive to provide this information, which I'll give an overview of in just a minute. What this does is it helps NSF's ability to monitor its programs and learn more about the people that it's serving. And then for those applicants, ETAP provides a transparent and a centralized location of information on available training opportunities. It reduces the burden on applicants by having a common application that can be repurposed across multiple opportunities, funded by NSF, and where they can return year after year to find out what opportunities are available to them. In 2022, last year, ETAP supported 128 different opportunities with almost 5,000 unique applicants. So far for this year, for 2023, we already have 210 opportunities published and 6 times as many applicants as we had at this time last year. So the system is definitely growing. Before I go through what ETAP offers in detail, I'm going to show you a short introductory video to ETAP so you can get a better view of what the system actually looks like online. This video we developed specifically for principal investigators, and it's posted on the ETAP website under the Principal Investigator tab. So bear with me as I navigate to that. Okay.
The NSF Education Training Application, also known as ETAP, is a secure online platform that provides you, the principal investigator, access to unique tools to help you manage your NSF award opportunities all in one place. ETAP offers you a free, full-fledged common application system. Within ETAP, you can easily create opportunities for applicants to participate in and have readily available information about applicants and participants to fulfill NSF reporting requirements. You can tailor your application requirements to include the materials that are most helpful to you, such as electronic reference letters, personal statements, college transcripts, and more. Whether you want your opportunity to be publicly advertised to recruit students nationally, or you are just asking program participants to report to NSF information about themselves, ETAP can help. Getting started with ETAP is easy and straightforward. Simply create an account, import your NSF awards, and start managing your opportunities. Plus, you don't have to do everything alone. A special feature of ETAP is that it allows you to assemble teams and delegate tasks to help you manage your opportunity. To set up an opportunity, start by providing information to help prospective applicants decide whether your opportunity would be a good fit for them. Then, specify what information you need to decide if applicants would be a good fit for your opportunity. This includes your application window, who can view and apply, and your application requirements. After setup is complete, the only thing left is to publish your opportunity. Now you will have a unique link you can share to promote your opportunity. Want to tap into the growing pool of prospective applicants coming to NSF ETAP? Choose to make your opportunity publicly available in the setup process for it to appear in the Search Opportunities section of ETAP, a search specifically optimized to leverage information you provide for applicants to quickly find opportunities that match their interests. ETAP helps you review applications and report participation with ease. When you're ready to review applicants, ETAP offers the option to manage applicants individually through an interactive table, or use bulk actions to manage multiple applicants at a time. For example, you can download all application materials with just a click of a button. Then you report participation and you're done. Need award participant statistics for writing a renewal proposal? Curious to see how your applicants compare to your participants? You can access reports, which provide descriptive statistics about your participants and how they compare to participants in other opportunities. You can also access raw data to support your own analysis. ETAP is here to support you every step of the way. We invite you to explore all ETAP has to offer. ETAP is available to use now at nsfetap.org.
And actually, I am very excited and pleased to let you know that as of this morning, it is no longer at nsfetap.org. We have migrated successfully to the nsf.gov environment. So now the new URL is etap.nsf.gov, which is shown in the brochures on your table. And we're very excited. I'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. All right. Oh, sorry.
What kind of confidentiality certifications do you have? For example, is it HIPAA or FERPA compliance?
I'm for what? I'm sorry. I'm not really following your question.
You're getting personally identifiable information in a database. What kind of protections do you have in place to make sure that no one gets something called FERPA or
Yep.
FERPA is the federal one?
No, I know what those are. I just was trying to figure out what that had to do with these data. Go ahead, Liz.
Yeah, I was going to say HIPAA doesn't apply in this situation. Right. Yeah, no, we have to comply with all the same standards as we do for all of our government databases. So it is considered secure, confidential, and not just anyone can get access to it. Off the top of my head, I don't know. I will text my colleague, but we've met everything that we're legally required to do with this kind of database. We have to go through formal clearance processes in order for the government to allow us to collect it.
So we have OMB clearance for all of the data. I would, sorry, is there a follow-up question? Because otherwise we can definitely entertain all these at the end.
That's fine. We can wait till the end.
Thank you. So in addition to this particular video, there are a series of how-to video resources available on the website that cover a variety of key activities, such as how to create an account or how to create an opportunity or designate a proxy. I'll dig into some of the details of these now. First of all, what data does ETAP collect? The first part is a registration form that is common across all opportunities. This is intentional because it's helpful for NSF to be able to collect data in a consistent manner across programs. The registration includes contact information, basic demographic information, prior degrees and current enrollment, and some additional questions that get at socioeconomic status, including parental education and the receipt of Pell Grants. Some of the items are optional for applicants to provide, and for key required elements, such as race and ethnicity, applicants are given the option to mark that they do not wish to provide that information. For more details about what is collected and how the questions specifically are asked, there are screenshots of the registration module that are available in the answers to frequently asked questions on the ETAP site. And so then this information from the common registration form would be supplemented by whatever additional information PIs request on their applications. And again, just as a note, in terms of the OMB clearance, the control number is on the bottom of that slide. What else does ETAP collect? The second part of the collection is the customizable portion of the opportunity. We know that CREST Awards, for example, serve a diverse set of applicants and have a diverse set of needs. And the second part of the data collection allows PIs to customize their application so they can collect all of the information that's helpful for their recruitment process. So there are lots of different preset options that can be added in. For example, a PI can determine if they want to request a personal statement, a transcript, or reference letters. They can also add in any additional questions that they wish. As you can see in this image, it's a little bit hard to see, but on the drop-down menu on the right, responses to custom questions can be tailored in a variety of ways. For example, PIs can use multiple choice questions or rank order option questions and ask for short or long text answers, or require that or request that additional files of different types other than the transcripts and CVs and personal statements be uploaded as well. ETAP offers a suite of tools to help applicants manage their reference requests as well. So applicants request reference letters from individuals, and they can monitor the status of those letters themselves. They can send reminder emails directly through the ETAP system and swap out reference letter writers for a given application if one of their writers happens to be unresponsive. This actually is a feature that we found to be really helpful and advantageous for PIs as well, because it means that applicants can monitor the status of their reference letters directly, so they don't need to continually check in with you to see if you've received them yet. ETAP also leverages some really detailed administrative data from extant data sources. So this includes IPEDS data, Carnegie classification data, and Common Core of data, and the private school universe surveys. And this all has to do with sort of the schools that applicants attend, and also information about the university where programs may be taking place. So for example, it means when a student selects a high school or a college from the lookup menu when they're giving information about their prior education and current education, PIs and NSF then sort of immediately have access to a lot of information about that school, including the urbanicity of the school, the average student demographics of the school, whether it's a minority serving institution, its level of research intensity. As PIs, you're able to control whether a certain opportunity, a research opportunity, is made public. To get set up in ETAP, PIs or co-PIs start by creating an ETAP account using the same email address that they're using for their NSF award. That step allows ETAP to identify the PI and their awards and allow them to create an opportunity under that award. If you're a PI and you try to set up an account and do not see your award, you can reach out to the help desk and we'll help you right away get that figured out and make sure your award is available to be included in the system. While that first step that only a PI or a co-PI can sort of set up the account to set up the original opportunity to start it up, ETAP allows PIs to designate proxies, for example, a project coordinator or project manager, that then has all the same rights to manage the opportunity and really set up all the details of the application. PIs can also designate reviewers that can access the data that you receive about your application, and other information, but do not have the ability to actually modify the opportunity itself. So there's sort of two different levels of proxy access. As the video noted, each opportunity is provided with a unique URL. That URL then you can use in all of your normal dissemination activities to publicize your opportunity. It can be posted on your own program's website, posted on your university's financial aid website, or directly emailed to an audience of your choosing. So PIs can determine whether the opportunity will be made publicly available, and what that means is that the opportunity would be available and show up on the ETAP website when potential applicants use ETAP's search features, which I will show you next. The other alternative is that the opportunity is run by invitation only, which just means that the opportunity will not appear in ETAP search features, and applicants would have to use the unique link that you're given to locate the opportunity itself. So for example, you might want to do that, select invitation only if you prefer or need to limit the audience for your opportunity for some reason. If you've got you already know who you're going to involve in an opportunity and you just need to target those particular students. Or if you would simply rather use ETAP to collect data from participants that you've already identified. So for example, we've seen this happen if an institution that you're affiliated with already has a system in place that you're sort of required to use for these type of research opportunities. If you use that system for your application, you can still use ETAP to collect information about your participants, which can be useful for you. Of course, the advantage of making the opportunity public is that it can increase the number of eyes and therefore applicants for your opportunity. So on the slide here, we have a quote from an REU PI that noted that their application number doubled after using ETAP. That's not uncommon at all. And the other thing I want to say here about the opportunity setup is that before it goes live, there's a forced preview option so that PIs can see what it looks like and really kind of troubleshoot any issues that they have with how it appears on the site. An important feature of ETAP is that prospective applicants can search in one place for multiple different NSF-funded opportunities. And again, this is limited to the ones that PIs have opted to make public when they set up their opportunity. These can serve to connect applicants to opportunities that they otherwise might not have found or known about. And so again, the idea here, the design is that this is intended to increase equity and broaden participation in NSF-funded opportunities. And can be especially helpful for applicants that lack access to the networks and resources to find some of these opportunities. So the search feature that we have in ETAP is optimized to leverage information provided by PIs to help applicants find opportunities that are going to line up best with their interests. So when setting up the opportunity, PIs are asked to answer questions about the location of the opportunity, the disciplines that it's relevant for, and then specific keywords that then would be searchable by potential applicants. Once a student finds an opportunity of interest, or if they navigate directly to the URL, if it was a non-public opportunity, they can learn more about the opportunity through the unique opportunity page like the one shown here. When students or potential applicants click on Apply Now, they'll be prompted to set up their account to apply for the opportunity if they haven't already. Applicants also have access to the opportunity URL. This is the blue button on the side. So they can share it on social media themselves or amongst their own networks and disseminate in that way opportunity to get more audience, more eyes on the opportunity as well. PIs can access data in multiple ways. Again, this was touched on a little bit in the video. Once applications or participant information is in the system, PIs, co-PIs, and proxies can get access to the data in a variety of ways. First, they're able to download individual applications in a PDF form with the click of the button. This actually includes all materials, including the reference letters that you collect for an application, which can be downloaded one by one or all at once. Data can also be downloaded in a CSV form. All the custom questions that might help you as a PI filter applicants to really limit the pool to those that have certain qualities or experiences that you're looking for. You can use the CSV file to help you do that, just in sort of whatever software program you like to use. You can also view aggregate descriptive statistics, which allow you to compare applicants to participants for your given award, and then compare applicants and participants to all other awards in similar programs that are also using ETAP. These reports, the static reports are live and updated every night, so they reflect the most current data possible. And ETAP is continuously evolving. The application has been modernized to meet industry standards in terms of both the back-end supporting technology and the front-end user interface. The site has been intentionally designed to make the website more inclusive and accessible, including being mobile-friendly and 508 compliant. We've also made some exciting upgrades this year in particular. We've made the system more friendly for applicants who may have an international background, and improved user experience for applicants that allow them to preview their application information before submitting and have more control over managing their application materials that they can store and access for multiple opportunities like their resumes and transcripts. PIs have also seen improvements in setting up their opportunity, giving them more flexibility and control in doing so. The biggest improvement this past year that we do want to highlight is that eligibility requirements are now customizable and opportunity specific. Different programs and different awards often have different requirements, for example, U.S. citizenship. Previously, the ETAP system required all applicants for all opportunities to certify U.S. citizenship as part of the registration process. As ETAP has grown to serve more programs, that's not applicable anymore. So this new functionality allows PIs to specifically indicate the applicable criteria for their own opportunity, both the must-haves, like a certain amount of education experience, and the nice-to-haves that would make a stronger applicant. Then PIs indicate which of those requirements they want applicants to certify that they meet, which they will need to do before proceeding to apply. So in this way, ETAP is both more flexible for a variety of different NSF programs, but also assists PIs with the functionality to really weed out candidates who are not ultimately eligible. And then, as I mentioned earlier, ETAP, as of today, has transitioned to the nsf.gov URL. This makes NSF's ownership of ETAP clear for all users, and is actually the first step towards fully integrating into NSF's other systems for a better user experience. One other feature of ETAP that I definitely want to highlight is the established professional help desk that supports applicants and PIs. The help desk can assist applicants with a range of questions that might otherwise need to be fielded by PIs, and is knowledgeable about the ones that actually do need to go to PIs to be accurately addressed. In addition to the help desk, which is accessible by phone and email, the site includes answers to frequently asked questions, both targeted for applicants and for PIs, and a series of 7 quick how-to videos that are specifically for PIs, although we'll be adding ones for applicants this year as well. We also understand there may be cases where applicants might lack reliable internet access, and the help desk is prepared to support applications in those cases as well. The other thing that's great about the help desk from our perspective is that it's a source of information for us to get feedback from its users. That really does inform improvements to the system and its resources, and has been really effective in helping us make this a really useful tool for folks involved with NSF. So from there, we're definitely excited to invite you to start using ETAP if you haven't already. All the current CREST awards are currently uploaded to the system and ready for folks to start setting up their opportunities if they wish to do so. We also wanted to note that this does not replace requirements for submitting annual reports, but it can help sort of collect and collate that information to make that process a little easier for you. So we definitely hope that this is somewhat appealing, compelling, that you'd be interested in trying it out. And also, if you try it out and feel like it's not going to work for you, feel free to let us know. Contact us through the help desk and let us know why you're not. We definitely welcome that kind of feedback so we can continue to improve ETAP to better meet the needs of the variety of different NSF programs. So thank you so much for taking the time and letting me go through my spiel. We definitely would love to get to your questions here. And if we don't have a chance to get through everything, you can always reach out to the help desk as well, and I'll put that back up. But yes, you were waiting patiently. Thanks.
Actually, this is great. I mean, this is something that will make it really easy for us to run the 2 of our programs. So the question is, no
Sorry,
problem.
I forgot to mention that. Thank you.
So our center runs 2 things. Like we run an REU program that we send to our partner institution, and that is by invitation because we only limit it to the undergraduate students who are part of the center, because opening up to other people is not going to be helpful. So
Right.
I guess we can do the invitation only and just send the link to our undergrads, correct?
Yes, exactly.
Now, the other program is we have teachers, kind of like we run an RET, and the teachers, we send that to all of the school districts. We have like about 27 different school districts. So these are not students. Can we use this also for that? Because they're going to be like teachers from like school districts, not students, probably like, graduated. Not some of them might be also doing some degrees, but some of them might not.
Yes. So I should say that actually RET is one of the programs that was sort of one of our earliest that we onboarded up to the system. So we actually have some data that's collected through the common registration form that's specifically about teachers. So if you can see up here on the bottom right, there's information about work experience for teachers. So already the registration form will collect that data. With your particular situation where you've got kind of a center and you've got different programs under a single award, we're set up to support that as well. What happens is you've got one award, you'd set up 2 opportunities, you have a chance to indicate like which program that specific opportunity is. So you'd mark RU for the one and RET for the other. And you can run those concurrently. There's no issue with having multiple ones happening at the same time. With the different requirements, and yeah, you make one public and one not, and it should work pretty seamlessly. So.
Other question: the data you said, does it transfer? Like, so when we do our report, the annual report, like how do we transfer that data? Does it make tables? You said CSV, or is there certain formats that we can just transfer it to the report, because that would also help?
Yeah, no, that's, thank you for raising that. That's sort of a common suggestion that we're getting, and something that we are trying to work on is actually sort of a tool that does that more directly for research.gov, for example. Right now, there still need to be your sort of manipulation of the data, either, again, copying and pasting from the static reports or doing your own analysis using the CSV data. But it's on our radar for sure. We know that would be helpful for folks. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. We have an NSF CREST Center, and I assume that if we have funding towards summer research opportunities open to external students, so this would be something we could also use even if we don't have a, separate RU or a separate program. So it would be actually funding within our CREST Center.
Yes. I think the specifics, when it asks you what kind of program type you would want that opportunity to be, I would suggest when you're looking into it to reach out to the help desk to get some guidance there, because I think it's a drop-down list, and I suspect we'll have you mark other, and we can kind of figure out what makes the most sense. But absolutely.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, in your presentation, you made reference to applicants and participants. I'm just curious as to what you meant by participants. I know applicants, you probably mean people who are applying for research jobs. What did you mean by participants?
Yep, no, that's a great question, and thank you for requesting the clarification. So when we use ETAP, again, it's designed for an application system where PIs can recruit for their opportunity. So it's sort of this ready-made source of information about the people who apply for that opportunity. We then ask PIs to come back once they've sort of selected who they would like to participate in the opportunity, to come back and report that information in the system. So basically, for each person, you'll indicate whether they were offered admission or not, and then among those who are offered admission, whether they accepted or declined the offer. So then that's sort of how we identify the subset of folks who actually participated in that specific opportunity. And so then we have, again, the ready-made reports where you can kind of compare the statistics from that subset, the participants, to the broader pool of applicants. Thank you.
This is just a really random question because I'm still learning. So this is only for folks who have CREST awards, correct? So for example, I have an award, and instead of paying students, we've offered like full tuition scholarships, right? So 3 of our undergraduate students receive full tuition scholarships. Would this be a system that I could use internally, invitation only to my campus to, get better applications for those opportunities?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think, we're still identifying these kind of one-off cases and how to support. So a common refrain you're going to hear from me all afternoon is if you've got questions about how to use, whether and how you can use ETAP, definitely reach out to the help desk. But just hearing what you're saying, yes, 100%. We should be set up for that.
Great, thanks. Seems like a very useful system. Couple questions about just sort of flexibility. One, you designate when you put your ad in what things you want students to upload, like personal statement. But a personal statement is often targeting the opportunity. So do they have flexibility to have multiple personal statements or?
100%. Yep, that's a great question. So there are a couple different options. There is one option when you're setting up, if you want a more brief personal statement, there's an opportunity where there's actually like sort of a text box field that has a character limit of something that I should know off the top of my head and I don't. So that would then just be completely specific to that opportunity. With respect to files that applicants can upload as PDFs for personal statements, there's no character limit. I think there's just the requirement that it's in a PDF format. And they can have multiple ones. And there's a way in terms of the applicant module. This is actually a good reminder. I should have a picture of what this looks like. But when an applicant is logged in to ETAP, they basically have kind of a module where they can see all of their different files. And so they can have multiple personal statements, and they just need to name them in a way that allows them to kind of figure out which is which. And again, multiple transcripts if you've got your high school and your college, like all of that is available. And it's basically like click to select the ones that are associated with a given application. It's a really neat function.
And follow up kind of a similar question. Yeah. So we've got a center that's got multiple NSF grants. Can we place an ad and link it to multiple grants, or does each grant have to have its own ad? Because they all might have a similar flavor, we're the Center for Water and the Environment. Interested undergrads in research apply, and we'll figure out a place for you.
That is a good question. So it is driven by NSF award number. I would need to get back to you about how that would. I mean, I know we can support it. The technical details about how that would work. I would need to probably get some. Unless Liz, you know the answer to that.
It's a similar question, which is, could it be university? Could it be a university-wide application system? So I'm in social sciences. We don't get a lot of folks who want to do necessarily STEM education research. Mm-hmm. But if it was, university-wide and all the STEM, all the NSF grants across campus were in one place, so not a center, but still the same premise, that could be a really nice tool for new students to find different opportunities even outside their discipline.
Yeah, I mean, I think so. A couple things I'll say to that. If there was one way to kind of within your university, for example, curate, like have a website or a web page, just a page, where you've got the sort of curated links to each of the opportunities, you can then have the link to that page in each individual opportunity if you wanted to kind of, and then that applies to sort of any opportunity you set up. You have the ability to link to other things. I think sort of, and so that you could customize yourself in sort of the text description of what you're setting up. But in terms of linking in the system at a more macro level, I don't think we're there in terms of what that would look like. But we could absolutely help brainstorm how you might disseminate to make that work.
I want to just get one question from the chat, and then we'll go back
please.
to the room. So we have, can external evaluators be listed as proxies?
Yes, there shouldn't be any restrictions on who a given PI chooses to list as their proxy.
Correct. It's not, they don't have to even have been listed on the grant to begin with, like key personnel or anything.
That's correct.
It's whoever you choose to designate.
That's exactly right.
Actually, with that, like, can you only have one proxy, or you can have? Okay.
Nope. I'm sorry, I should say that out loud. No, I'm shaking my head.
Okay. But the proxy has the same access as the PI, right? Whereas the reviewers, you can give them only access to the applications and not have the access to everything. Correct?
That is exactly right. That is the main distinction.
Okay. And for example, when the flexible part of the application, let's say I just want one letter of recommendation. I don't want 2 or 3. There is no restrictions. Like, so for example, you said if I pick the REU program, right, I can designate exactly what I need. I don't need to have, like, what's a minimum of 2 or 3 or whatever.
That's exactly right. And actually, I should say that the way the system is currently set up, it does ask you to specify a number. And so it actually gets a little bit complicated if you want kind of a maximum of 2. So we actually sort of recommend, at least at this point, not setting your opportunity up like that. But yeah, you could definitely specify the exact one, and that can differ by your opportunity.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So it seems that there must be a good number of projects not using this site. And so I wonder, do you know the reasons why they are not yet using it?
Yeah, actually, and I'll say something, but then Liz, I'm probably going to turn to you to react to that. Or do you go ahead? Let me just pass it to you.
I was going to say, so at this point, it's voluntary. And so no one's required to, except for we have a couple programs now in the REU that are starting to require it for new awards. So it's a slow ramp up. This has been, prior to up until the last year or so, considered a pilot that NSF was carrying out. So that's why. Some reasons people might not choose to use it are up until very recently, we could not allow minors to use the system. So if you were someone who was recruiting high school seniors and they weren't 18 yet, you would either need to have 2 systems, which is not sustainable, or to not use ETAP and stick with your own. That has since changed. Another reason is you have to have an active award. So if it did not happen to line up with your current recruiting timing, then you might not choose to do that. Would you add anything, Christina?
Yeah, I think the other common reason that I alluded to earlier, which is that we definitely have heard that some universities require any of these sort of applications to be done through their own existing systems, and so that has been sort of a constraint for some folks. But I think those are the biggest buckets that we've heard.
Yeah. Yes, we are new.
That's great. That is wonderful. I mean, it definitely, to Liz's point, this really has been a pilot. It's for the last couple of years, it's been sort of a subset of programs within NSF. But now we're definitely taking if you hear about it, however you hear about it, let us know, and then we'll go talk to your program officers at NSF and disseminate more broadly. Yes.
So something you just said caught my ear. So my assumption was people would apply through this, you screen them, and then they have to just apply through the university anyway because you have your own systems. But are you saying that people are actually integrating this in with like the university process?
There's not functionality to do that.
Yeah.
It's more of the requirement on an individual university about
yeah,
whether,
that's what I don't.
Yeah.
That seems to be way too complicated for you guys.
Yeah. Maybe someday.
Yeah. And I'll also offer a plug because I'd heard interest in like seeing what the applicant sees. The Mathematica led a really great office hours back in November. We do these periodically. So we'll try to get that link to you all because part of it included a live demo of walking through the actual applicant's view so you can see how that looks.
Thanks, Liz.
While we are seeing if there's any other questions, I wanted to get back to your FERPA question. So FERPA applies to institutions receiving money from the federal government, not to the federal government itself. Privacy Act and other legislation affects us, but the standards are similarly high in terms of how data is handled and confidentiality.
So the fact that you're providing it. Sorry, this is why it's confusing, because for example, Qualtrics is both HIPAA and FERPA. I know HIPAA doesn't apply in this situation, but the FERPA does, and so it's a guarantee that when I use that for my data gathering, that the likelihood that somebody can break into it or somebody can access it is much lower, and that's why I was getting really specific, especially when I saw you using the term participant. But what I now hear is that you're talking about participants in terms of scholarship recipients rather than research participants, because I'm also running, the IRB thing is running through my head, and how are you getting this past your IRB? Yeah. So, okay.
Yeah. It's different things. I think we did once hear somebody said that their institution had IRB concerns. If you do run into anything like that, let us know. For NSF's purposes, this is not considered human subjects research. And so it is not, it doesn't apply. But if you have that issue, do just let us know and the specifics and what information that we can provide, because the federal government and federal agencies just have different applicable laws.
It sounds like most of the people here are using hiring purposes.
To offer a research experience, a summer research experience, an internship, a scholarship. Yeah.
And that's very different than the way I use it, which is actually doing research.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, which is why the red flags were going off.
Yeah, yeah. This would not be how you should use it. Yes, please don't. All right. Anyone else? Let me just check the thing. Any other questions? Sure.
I've always got questions. Yeah, too many. Can you also set up the ad to have optional items? Or I'm thinking about something like letters of reference. Like that can be a hassle for some students, and maybe you don't want to require it. But if they already have some in the system, by all means, submit them.
Yeah, so we can work with you on a workaround for that. That is actually something that's sort of come up for the first time for us this year in terms of how people are using it. And so we are thinking systematically how to make it work within the system. But yeah, in the meantime, we can sort of work with you about how to make it happen in the near term until that functionality is really built out. Because there is certainly desire for it. We're hearing.
Anybody else? Online, I guess I see Naomi said they couldn't hear the last comments. I think that was about our exchange about whether FERPA applied and clarification that this system is for collecting data on applicants and selected participants in scholarship and other research experience opportunities. So it doesn't apply here. There's Privacy Act and other considerations. So hopefully that clears that up.
All right. Well, thank you all for late afternoon participation. Really appreciate your questions. If you've got any others, feel free to ask Liz or myself or reach out to the help desk.